For a number of years, I worked for BBC Religious Broadcasting, which is something I hugely enjoyed. My main focus was on the BBC Radio 4 daily service. Now, this involved getting up at the crack of dawn and driving over to Manchester, which was sort of 40, 50 miles from where I was living at the time, and rehearsing with a group of singers. So, madly, we always rehearse from scratch on the morning of a live broadcast. And they were very accomplished singers, so that wasn't really a particular problem, but it meant getting really organised for the rehearsal so you could indicate very quickly how you wanted things to be sung. We'd rehearse it, get it sorted out, then we'd have a run through with the person presenting the service, and then boom, on came the light. And we were just broadcasting live. So it was a very good way of keeping the adrenaline flowing first thing in the morning, very focused stuff. But a great privilege to work with such a fine group of singers, 8 or 10 singers usually most days. So sometimes I would conduct, sometimes I'd play the organ, sometimes I'd play the piano, sometimes a little bit of a mixture of things. And some days everything went very smoothly according to plan. Other days it didn't go quite so smoothly. People ill, people not able to get there because of bad weather, and then we had to kind of accommodate things very quickly at the last minute. But that was all part of the fun. And directing these things also involved arranging the music and just trying to make it fit exactly with what was required for the day, which is something else that I very much enjoyed doing. There were special occasions, one-off special events as well for particular moments in the Christian year, really. And also I did a bit of TV work with songs of praise, for example. And I remember one particular occasion standing in a circus tent playing a keyboard. It was pretty cold. The wind was blowing an absolute gale and the sound engineers were having trouble with the canvas flapping, and the camera bods weren't too happy either because the canvas was all kind of reflecting light in an unhelpful way. So it was one of those slightly awkward technical evenings trying to rehearse and film this thing. And I just remember standing in a puddle playing the keyboard, wondering what on earth we were doing on this particular occasion. Anyway, we had a super arrangement lined up of one of these hymns which involved the brass section coming in the middle. But we had the elephants walking around the circus ring at the time. And every time these trumpets came in at this brass entry, the elephants immediately had a kind of reaction, quite a noisy reaction to it as well. So it's amazing the things that you just don't even think about when you're arranging music for these things, like whoever told you that when you're orchestrating for brass, beware of the elephants. So there we are. We had little episodes like that, which looking back on were quite fun. But it was a great opportunity for me and a great privilege to work with such wonderful musicians who became good friends and were great to work alongside, and to be part of an organisation like the BBC, where the highest qualities can be achieved through broadcasting.